You got to be quick because it's first come, first serve. And when they gone, they gone. I'm talking about the bent corner sale. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Junior's Music Corner. Thank you for joining me. If you're new here, I appreciate it. Go ahead and stick around. All right. Anyway, today I want to talk about Get On Down's bent corner sale. Now, a couple weeks ago, maybe the end of February, GetOnDown.com had another bent corner sale. If you haven't heard about this or don't know what this is, the record company or the website will have maybe some records that get a bent corner or the shrink gets ripped that they not going to sell it if it's not top notch at top price. So every now and then they will have what they refer to as a bent corner sale, and it's for slightly damaged records. And during this sale, they're marked down to like 50% to 70% off. Now, when it's announced that they're having a big corner sale, it's kind of like meat being thrown to a tank of piranhas, because if you're late, if you're not there when the sale starts, go ahead and do something else because they're going to fly, man. The last bent corner sale that they had, I was actually driving. I was picking my son up from college, and I was on the road when I got the email that the sale was starting. So I'm trying to drive and trying to go through the pages and see what's for sale and all. I end up getting a few things, but if you're not quick, you can load your cart up, and by the time you go to check your cart, it's empty. Because like I say, people are buying and they're going fast. But anyway, I did end up getting a few things. There was some stuff that I wanted that, like I say, ended up, by the time you get, it's like 4 pages of records, and there's CDs and other things that they're selling, trying to get rid of. But by the time I got to my cart, like, yeah, a lot of the stuff that I wanted, people had already checked out and took it. Like I say, it's first come, first serve. It is a dog eat dog, like like get it now or it's gone. But I ended up getting a few records, and I want to show y'all. So here we go. All right, so one of the first ones I picked up was the Groove Theory album. This was a good group. You had Emile LaRue, and I believe brother's name is Bryce or Bryson. Used to be in Mantronics, did the production for here. And here's an example. You can see that how this corner is bent. So I believe I paid maybe $12 for this. And this is a reissue. You know, they reissued this in 2019. Before it was hard to get a copy of this album. But this was a good album. Shawty can sing. Brothers' production was tight. Hate that they had their little issues and they disbanded, but lucky to add this one. Happy to add this one to the collection. Groove Theory. All right, another one I picked up, and this wasn't really on my list of things, but like I say, and this was probably, now this was in the first round because I ended up doing 2 orders, just making sure I could get some of the stuff that I did want. But Jay's Volume 3, Life and Times of Sean Carter, and this, like I say, example, I showed you the bent corner, but this one, like I say, you have torn shrink. There's no shrink on this one at all, but I may have paid $11 for it. You know, the vinyl is fine. It's still new. It's just the shrink was wrapped, and I take it was beyond salvaging, so they just took it off and put it in a sleeve. This album though, and it wasn't a bad album. This wasn't Jay's favorite album of mine, but there was some good stuff on this album. This was not too long after I had a couple of my partners were in college and they used to play this album back in the day. But anyway, adding this J to the collection, and it'll work for the price. I take it. All right, so this one I did want to add to my collection, and I'm glad I got it at the price I got it because I wanted it. This is Carter 3. Got to be Wayne's best album. This is, to me, this was his peak album. Sold 1 million copies in the first week. It was dope from beginning to end. Got a lot of hits on there, of course, Lollipop, and then you got the Wee Wee Wee, the Police song with Valentino. But I wanted this album, and I didn't want to pay over $40 for it. And I think I paid a little over 20 during that bent corner sale. And like I say, it's got a little ding here, but the last time they had that bent corner sale, the records that I bought, there was nothing wrong with them. There were no corner dings. And it may be that they're just trying to get rid of some overstock, but anyway, Lil Wayne, Carter 3. This is the only Wayne record I own. I did have Carter 5, and I never opened it or listened to it, but I ended up selling that off. But I did dig this album, and I liked a lot of Wayne's pre-Carter stuff when I guess he was still writing back in the days. Me and my homies, we used to listen to the Hot Boys, and Wayne was one of the illest. So I still think he had a sick pen game. But adding that one to the collection. All right. I picked up the Jay-Z and Linkin Park collab, Collision Course. I wanted this one. I'm glad they reissued this because it was sky high. The price was sky high for a while with the OGs. But I'm glad I picked this up. The album that Linkin Park had where they're blending with, I believe, was the Meteora album. And I've got like 3 copies of that CD. I kind of dug that Linkin Park album. R.I.P. Chester too. But I snagged this. I think it was like $10, yo. So I got that one. Jay-Z, Linkin Park, Collision Course. All right, next. I end up getting this. This is Burna Boy. And I hadn't heard this album. But there was when I'm in the car and I'm streaming, there are some Burna Boy songs that play, and I dig his style. But I'm trying to say, okay, this is Burna Boy, I Told Them. It's got some features on here. There's a few songs on here that'll play when I'm in the car. And you see, this was, so we got a little split here. And I think I paid less than $10 for this record. So adding this Burna Boy to the collection. Shout out. All right. Next up, I picked up the debut NERD album. Everybody, I believe, knows who NERD is. It's of course Pharrell, Chad Hugo, the Neptunes. I don't really know this guy because that's their homeboy. But I had this CD when it came out. It was some good stuff. It was different. It was different than, I guess, if people hadn't heard the singles from this album before they heard the album and just were expecting some straight hip hop or some of the music that the Neptunes are known for producing. They produced a lot of hip hop acts back when this album came out. But this one again, this one was, when I would see it new, they wanted a little more than what I was willing to pay for it. But I'm glad it came up in the bent corner sale because I got it for a great deal, and it's one that I wanted to add to my collection because I dug it. Shout out Chad and Pharrell. All right. The next one I picked up is To the Casket drops. This is the Clipse. Speaking of Neptunes, I hadn't heard this whole album, and it's an older album. This was 2009. I believe it was kind of like a mixtape though. And of course, it's got the Obi and it's numbered, and I got number 1429 out of 2000. But this, I believe, there was their, I may be wrong, but I want to say their third project. And this album was cool because they stepped out, and it's not a complete Neptunes produced project. There are different producers on this album. And the first few tracks that I listened to, yeah, they go dumb hard. So yeah, I'm happy to get this one. I'm ready to listen to it entirely. I rock with the Clipse. Shout out Pusha T, Malice or no Malice, you know. To the Casket drop. All right, last but not least, one of my favorite groups. I was happy to get this one as well. This is UGK, Too Hard to Swallow. It's a special edition because, you know, like the original cover doesn't look like this. But this is a classic Southern album for everyone that likes Southern hip hop that's been around. You already know, you know. And this got the classics on it. Something Good, of course. Pocket Full of Stones, Cocaine in the Back of the Ride, Use Me Up. This was dope. And excuse me. Back in the day, of course, y'all know I got a brother 6 years older than me. And back in the day, my brother had this tape. And it was just a black tape. There was no writing on it. And my sister and I would fight over this tape. But what's good about this tape was on one side, and you know, you could get cassettes with different lengths, you know, 60-minute tapes, 90-minute tapes, 120-minute tapes, whatever. But on one side, there was this album, UGK's Too Hard to Swallow. And on the other side of that tape was 8Ball and MJG's Coming Out Hard. So we were fighting over that tape because it didn't matter which side you put it on. It was great music. But R.I.P. Pimp C. Shout out Bun B. Too Hard to Swallow. For the Lolo. So really happy I got this one. All right, man. Like I say, if you don't rock with Get On Down, you should start. Like, check them out, man. GetOnDown.com and sign up for the mailing list so you'll be notified when they have these sales. And they do a lot of reissuing and they sell bundles. So, like, check them out. And no, like, I'm not sponsored by them or nothing like that. They just a site that I rock with, and they got some pretty good records. All right, but that's going to do it for this. If you made it to now and you haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me, that like button. You can share it out if you want. And till next time, peace.